What's up, metalheads? Got a special treat for you on this episode of the Metal Block. I got two guys from two different bands, two legendary bands, Peppermint Creeps and Foxy Roxx. I got Billy Blade and Tony Starlin, the singer of Foxy Roxx, and Billy Blade is the bass player, vocals, and Peppermint Creeps. Not the main vocalist, I don't believe. But anyway, so I'm going to have them up on the show here right after this.
Welcome, headbangers, to the Metal Block. Here is your host, Eric.
Yeah. So before I bring them on, I just want to give a little bit of an intro here to set it up. They got a show coming up on the 15th. It's going to be at the Whisky in Hollywood. This coming Friday. So it's going to be this show here. We're going to talk about it. We're going to tell some stories about the Hollywood days and, then and now. Yeah, if you could see that. Anyway, so we go way back. My band Will-O-Wisp played a lot of shows back in the day with Foxy Roxx and Peppermint Creeps. I don't know if we ever did. I think we're on the same bill with Foxy Roxx maybe a couple of times back in the Coconut Teaser. I don't believe we ever played on the same bill with Peppermint Creeps because they kind of came a little bit after when I left the band. I know the Will-O-Wisp played with them, I believe, a show or something after I left the band, with the new singer or whatever. But we go way back because Tracy Michaels, who passed away, who actually is the founder of Peppermint Creeps, unfortunately passed away back in June, I want to say 13th of 2008. It was really unexpected. It really hit everyone with like a ton of bricks. I mean, they were on tour, and Billy will tell the story. He's told it before, but of what happened. But Tracy was such an amazing drummer, amazing friend, amazing guy. Everyone loved him. I mean, I believe his funeral, from what I didn't get to go to his funeral because I was going through some legal stuff back at that time, and unfortunately I couldn't make it to the funeral. But from what I hear, the turnout was pretty massive. I would imagine it was probably drew more people at the funeral than all of his bands together in a club. But so an amazing guy. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about him and pay tribute to him a little bit. And because I always wondered after he passed away, like what the fate of the Peppermint Creeps was going to be, because he pretty much started that band, I believe, from what I understand. And the look is amazing. There's Billy right there. So but yeah. And so they're playing out again. I think they reunited a few times off and on, but I think they're just doing kind of one-off shows every year or so like that. But we'll get into all that, okay? So stay tuned. I'm going to bring those guys on right now. All right, metalheads, look who I got. Tony Starlin from Foxy Roxx, and down below, Billy Blade from
Good to see y'all.
Peppermint Creeps, two legendary members from two legendary bands.
Old school Hollywood.
Hollywood. How's it going, guys?
Really good, man.
Yeah.
Still here.
Yeah, I know, right?
Still doing it.
Still doing it, man.
Still giving it the old go around, yeah.
The word legendary comes in, man, because like you've been doing it for as well. I mean, I'm not in the scene no more, but as far as like we go way back, the 90s and 2000s.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Early 90s is when I met you guys. Yeah, I was like 91, 92.
I met Billy before he was even into all that stuff, right?
Yeah, you guys warped me. You and Rebel warped me.
Yeah, Young Rebel was long enough, and then, which I thought was cool, because when I think about you, Billy, it's like, you were this guy that hung out with us all, and then like, always talk about, I'm gonna get in one of those bands one of these days, and all of a sudden, the next thing you know, like, wake up and here you are, and like in all these different bands, and you got the makeup on, and you're playing the clubs that we were playing, and
yeah, totally, right.
And you really put in the work to do it. Like you didn't just like, it's not like you just like woke up and say, you know what, it's just gonna fall into my lap. No, you actually, you networked, and you obviously you're an amazing player and stuff like that. So you had the chops.
Like totally hardworking at it, right? I mean, you're just everywhere. That's how I see it. At least.
Just 30 years too late,
No, not really, because I mean, you still look good.
Not really. I just mean for the big wave of it, where there was.
Dude, I started playing. First time I ever played the Whisky was with Foxy Roxx. Was like 87. 87.
Yeah.
And we're like at the tail end of it was really happening, and then by the time we kind of started getting in any way popular, then it just started trailing out, and then we all just kept it kind of going. Through the 90s.
So Tony, when you started Foxy Roxx, did you guys start in Hollywood, or did you like all move from like
no, we're a San Diego band. I mean, we literally, no joke either, like we were the only glam band that was in San Diego.
Wow.
I mean, there wasn't anyone else down there that did anything like what we did. So in our own way, the people that did like it came to see us because it was the only show in town, like doing what we were doing with bombs and fire, and we did all kinds of stuff. So
and you even had colored hair back then, or like was that kind of a thing?
I had black, and then I went to like a burgundy kind of thing, and then I think I did like a pink. In fact, I remember seeing Tracy. Tracy's like, I did like a fuchsia. And I remember Tracy seeing me. I was outside the Roxy. He's like, "Oh, dude!" He's like, "You lost your mind." He's like, he was all excited. We were just having fun. And
I'm trying to remember when the Manic Panic craze came in.
Yeah, right.
I was still in Atwater, California, like in 86, 87. Maybe that's when I started kind of dyeing my roots with different colors with Manic Panic. And but you were in San Diego. What year did you actually form Foxy Roxx in San Diego?
86.
Okay.
And then we started playing around. Then we did the show there, and then we went through a lot of different players, just a lot of different stuff. But to me, it's kind of cool for that respect that we're known like as a Hollywood band, because I mean, we put in the work to do. I mean, we were driving constantly up and back, and on a Wednesday or a Tuesday or whatever the shows were or something, we were there flyering and doing it. And it was just more of a market for us up there, right, than San Diego.
Yeah.
And it was.
I think it's what happens to most bands. You become a Hollywood band once you plant your roots there and you start playing the shows and the clubs and stuff like that. I mean,
well, and then I became friendly with all the other people, like in Heartthrob, and that's again met Tracy and all those bands. I think it was a very good camaraderie among bands. Like we all hung out, glamour punks and all. It was just fun. I mean, it was just a good scene,
Yeah. What about you, Billy? What was the first band you joined? Like after we were hanging out and stuff like that. You were kind of like just hanging out with all of us, me and Rebel, and then like what was the first kind of band that you got into when you said like, wow, this is it. This is what I want to, I want to fucking seize this moment. I'm playing like when you played in Hollywood, like your first Hollywood show, I guess, as far as with whatever band.
I mean, of course, I started as a kid into Kiss, so to me, bands were always more of a show. With music.
Yep.
But when I met you, I mean, I was always into that, but I didn't play music. I was really starting late. Then I met you guys and Rebel, which was more my thing because I was into Wasp and Motley Crue and stuff like that. So I met Timmy from Spiders and Snakes through you guys and Rebel, and I was in a metal band from San Bernardino, which I don't know if you remember ASM.
Oh yeah, that was Victor.
And we were a little bit metal for the Glitter and Glam shows, but Teddy had talked to Timmy and he was like, well, I'll put you guys on first. That's actually how I kind of know from Tony and them, because since they were coming to the Glitter and Glam from San Diego, a lot of times they were the only people there to watch us because they were able to make sure they got
early, dude. Didn't want to be late,
Exactly. So I remember them really good. But, once I did that again, that was a metal band. I was trying to warp the minds of the guys in the metal band. Like when I joined, all of a sudden the eyeliner, the nail polish started popping up.
Yeah.
We actually lost the original drummer because of that. Like, I kind of got to the guitar player first, and then Victor, he was very theatrical kind of guy anyway, so he kind of went with what we were doing. But then
Victor was always the David Lee Roth kind of guy, though. He was
he's a really good front man, but he kind of fit where the direction we were going, or if we wanted to stay together. And
he's a good singer too.
Yeah. So when that came to kind of an end where we were just the band was just crumbling. So then the girlfriend I had at the time, we were like, and I just moved out to Hollywood with her. So it's like, okay, Rock City News, I got to find something, because that band's pretty much done. And now I'm addicted now. I see you guys playing.
Yeah.
Everybody's playing. I want to be part of that. And I'm not sure if the ad actually said who it was, but it was Revlon Red, and I was familiar with them from the Glitter and Glam, and Marky's such an out there character. Yeah, we definitely knew who Marky was already. So. But when I went to the audition, he wasn't there. It was just the other guys. It was Billy Mayhem and Richie, and so we just kind of jammed the songs. And I didn't know at the time there was, with the girlfriend I had and Marky, I didn't know they had a past that was not so nice.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I had to get past that obstacle.
That's
that Marky,
Hollywood for you.
Yeah, Marky didn't really want me in the band because of that. But I think we got past that pretty quick because I clicked with Richie and Billy really good, like right away. They were kind of like, okay, we're this kind of band, we're glam. We're very like AC/DC, like just stick to the root, nothing crazy, just good old rock and roll. Who just happened to dress glam.
Yeah.
And,
I loved Revlon.
I did that. I did Revlon for 10 years. I mean,
yeah.
So that was kind of really what got me in there. And then really, I mean, I know you said networking and all that, but I'm a really, held back kind of quiet guy. So I could be a lot more aggressive on the networking, but just anybody that knew Tracy.
You did it in a kind of a smooth way because you were quiet and shy in a sense, but the fact that you were always present, like you're always hanging around and learning from people and what they do and how they do it and this and that, and then at the same time, being the player that you were and the experience. So I think it was just natural for you to fall into just playing the Hollywood scene eventually,
Yeah, and I think I told you this story before. I don't know, and I don't know if they would remember, but your friend Lonnie from Candy Cane Lane. I got along with him really good. To me, him and Tracy were the two guys that like hung around that whole Candy Cane Lane band room scene. They were just really like true good guys, like there was nothing fake about them. They were just super, like Lonnie was a really good guy, as far as I'm concerned.
Me too.
And in fact, I loaned him my wireless and I think he smashed it up because he was so crazy on stage. But I was quiet. But anyways, when Johnny from Gutter Slits came out, Lonnie was actually trying to set me up with that. But I didn't really know Johnny. I kind of drug my feet a little bit. And then when I contacted him, he had already had Carol playing for him. So that was kind of my first, like, after being in Revlon, where I was trying to really start getting my feelers out there. And then just when you get to know Tracy, I mean, Tracy wanted to do a band with pretty much everybody out there.
Yeah.
If he was
first time I met Tracy was at the welfare line, it's like he just moved into Hollywood and it's like, hey, I need to put a band together. I need a guitar player. I go, well, I got my band Will of Wisp. He's like, well, if you just fill in until I can find a new one or until a permanent one. So we did that Tragedy band for a little bit.
Tragedy. I remember Tragedy.
Yeah. He looked for potential. If you could look cool on stage, then you were, the playing wasn't as important for him at that point,
If you were able to wear a sequin miniskirt, you were in.
Exactly. But that was a funny thing. Like when I first joined with him, we had a rehearsal. I think it was Boston Greg on guitar, and then with Jamie, I can't remember his last name, but Jamie on vocals. He was a blonde guy with the kind of like a scarry face or whatever, but really cool guy. And but me and Tracy would just fool around with because I was always in the more kind of prog type of music, death metal and stuff like that. But Tracy knew how to play all that shit. Like he wasn't just some punk rock drummer, I mean, I go, dude, where'd you fucking do your? He said he's trained in Seattle. I guess he like taught lessons and stuff like that. So he knew how to play like Latin beats and jazz beats and things like that. So I remember in between, we're trying to write these songs where like I can't remember how we were writing songs. I remember we were just all kind of drinking and just coming up with riffs but I remember in between songs, me and Tracy would just break into some crazy whacked out time signature type stuff, and they were getting annoyed by it. Like Boston Greg was getting annoyed and stuff. It's like, come on, guys, we gotta get to the songs, But Tracy was always on fire, though, man. That dude was just fucking
totally. I think I told you maybe last time. I don't know. The first time I met Tracy was we were playing the Zeros show at Gazzari's, like the last Zeros show when everyone didn't show up except Sam and Daisy, and he like literally was off the bus. Like he just got into town kind of thing. And he's all, can I help you set up your drums? Because I was playing drums at the time, And he's like, can I help you? Can I help you set up your stuff? And like, he was just all cool. I'm like, sure, dude. Like that's kind of how I met him. And then we just hung out the whole night. Like, and just after that, we talked all the time. So he's just a great guy.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck. It's an incredible dude. I mean, so missed too. It's been 16 years since he passed away, or almost 16 years. Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah, no, everybody misses him. You see stuff online all the time, people saying stuff about him or whatever. It's just, good thing.
1 second here, right? Let me do the pause. But yeah, because in June will be like the anniversary since he passed, and
I know.
And that's why. And you guys are doing this show on the 15th. So is this considered a co-headlining show between Foxy Roxx and Peppermint Creeps, or is it kind of like?
No, I mean for us, we're supporting. For me, in my mind at least, we're just supporting them again.
So Peppermint Creeps is like the main
Creeps fan. I again have the bond with Tracy like so many people did.
Yeah.
For me, this show is a personal thing, so I'm proud to be part of it. Whatever time slot we could have got, we would have taken. I just want to be part of it, and it's great to see them play, and it just it just hits home like. For me, just with all the old stuff and everybody playing and doing that old thing, to stand back in the audience and watch the Creeps play. Again, I'm a fan. I love it. It's great,
Yeah, so I mean, they put on a great show. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play a clip here in a little bit of both of your guys' band. I've pulled up some clips from your guys' most recent shows. And well, I know you guys, the last time you played, Billy, was in 2022, was for the Peppermint Creeps.
Yep.
that you guys. So is Peppermint Creeps? Do you guys do that? Is that your kind of your thing that you're going to do? Is just kind of one-off shows every year, or do you plan on kind of putting together a whole new thing where you play more often and maybe even put out new music or anything, or is this kind of more just like a tribute thing?
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, it's just see how things go. We went 9 years without playing a show.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, timing wise, whatever. The Zeros came back for a couple shows. I love the Zeros, but I hate to
I love
see
Danny and Joe.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's good to see when they're back in the band and everything. And then Foxy Roxx started coming out playing again. It was Macy's really kind of out of the scene. Like, he's not really, he's doing his own thing. Mm-hmm. But I just feel that maybe there's something in the air, because it wasn't like, oh, well, they're playing, let's all play. It just, me, I live for this band. So like, we were doing, one of my other bands was playing, and they kind of asked me like, hey, what would you think about doing a show? This was for the 2022 one. Mm-hmm. And of course I'm like, are you kidding? I carry that phone around with me waiting for that call,
Yeah.
It's like a joke, but everything just seemed like the right timing. And when we put the show, out there and put the flyers out there, the feedback was amazing. So it just shows you the timing was right. People, we were, after Tracy had passed, we were doing pretty much an annual show for, I think we skipped 1 year, but for 5 years we were doing an annual show.
Yeah.
We started at the Key Club, and when they closed, we went to the Whisky, and but it just kind of ran its course. Every year we didn't say, okay, next year we're going to do this.
Yeah.
I would say at this point, the band really is just, never say never for anything. We don't have any future plans for anything, pretty much. And I don't know if you guys follow my Facebook page, but we did release a single this morning, a cover of This Town from the Go-Go's.
Okay.
So we have been, doing a little studio work. And for the show, I don't know if you're going to get to this later, but for the show coming up, so the 2022, we had a remaster version of Animatronics. This show, we're going to have the remaster of We Are the Weirdos.
Okay.
So
it's good.
So there's stuff going on in the camp as far as like touring. Putting out a lot of, new original CDs and all that. I really don't see that happening, but again, we just kind of go with but yeah, we definitely don't have plans of, hey, this is good, let's book a US tour. And anybody who's, at the level we are, and you've toured the country, it's you bring 200-300 people to Whisky, you go to New York and you bring 2 people,
that's what I'm saying. It's got to make sense. Like these days, especially us in our age, it has to make sense for us financially, for one.
Well, yeah.
As opposed to back in the day when we could just take those risks. Like, let's go fucking live in our car and play fucking 2 people and have a blast. Now it's like, I got a mortgage, I got a freaking job, I got to do
right. I can't do that anymore. I mean, like,
exactly. And it's not like, oh, well, if you pay us, it's just like you said, it's just not easy for us to do that. We, whether we're working jobs or whatever, you just can't stop life.
Yeah.
No.
Like back again, 22 years old, you stop life, you quit your job, you come back and just go find a new one.
Exactly. But I think what's amazing is the fact that you guys can pick this up and actually draw like a scene. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of disappear for a while.
Sort of touch on what Billy was saying. Like when the Zeros got back together for that first show at the Whisky.
Yeah.
We had been 21 years not playing at that point, and I was out completely out of the scene. But I heard about it through, I think, Instagram or something like that.
Yeah.
And there was just a different feel for me of like, wow, this could be really fun, like a nostalgic, fun kind of thing. Especially, I love Danny again from Zeros, and I want to go for sure.
Yeah.
So I called the guys, and it just turned into we're going to play. But we didn't have any intent specifically of it. Was like, let's just quickly rebuild some walls and some signs and let's do it. If we're going to go out, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then, but it was like one show. I thought it would be one show.
Yeah.
But we had so much fun. And it did feel different somehow. It felt like people, by the reaction in the audience, it felt like people were ready to want to see this now and then.
Yeah. How does it go about when you're booking it? Like, so does the Whisky say, okay, now you guys have to draw this many people, or like, because back in the day it was like you have to kind of prove yourself to, if you guys haven't played in a long time, then you decide to put on this big show.
Jake has always been very cool with us as far as, because that was my thing too. I'm like, well, what now after we played that show? I'm like, well, what do I so removed from it? And then I think I called Jake for something, and he goes, hey, you guys want the Faster Pussycat slot? I'm like, yeah. And then, so he's just been always cool, like offering good things to us. And you know, we've had no problem like selling tickets and doing things and it's been fine. I mean, so again, just a super grateful to be doing it again and really embrace it and try to give people the old school sort of show that it just doesn't exist. You're just not going to walk down the strip and see people like the Creeps performing with walls and things, or us with our stuff. You just don't see it anymore. And it's fun and people like it.
People love, fun. I mean, that's one thing. People love nostalgia, and it's a very nostalgic thing. And
it's fun. It's just something you don't see anymore.
And then they turn their kids onto it, and the next thing you know, you got this new generation of kids who are like, when they start a band themselves, they're going to try to kind of have that type of style. You know, we see a lot of bands now, like metal bands or whatever, young bands who are playing 80s metal style music, and they're doing really well at it. And they're, you know, and it's like this resurgence, you know. So I can see that. It'd be kind of cool to see that happen with the glam scene of Hollywood. Like,
well, there's all kinds of new glam bands popping up. I'm not specifically sure about Hollywood, but if you look at Instagram or things, there's all kinds of stuff happening right now. Again, I think it's great. You know, I'll be the grandfather of that right now and just go out there and play, dude. I'm 57 and I'm proud of it. I'll go up against you if you want some little kid band. Let's go. Let's do it.
I wish there was some like billionaire guy that could, like, you know, like you guys got these like big billionaires that put on these major festivals around the U.S. It'd be cool to do a big festival of bands like that, just Hollywood style. Great. You know,
so
like
good.
Guys like you guys with a headline and like, you know, like a
it'd be really fun to do that.
I bet they could do that, and I bet it would draw if they obviously it's all about promoting it, but I bet if they did something like that, like,
I know, like, for example, we had reached out a few times to like, I know the Glamour Punks are getting back together.
Yeah, just matter of fact, I was going to bring that up.
So like we had reached out to Swinging Thing a couple different times and the Glamour Punks to try to do a show at the Whisky.
Oh yeah.
And then I saw this one was announced at the Viper Room, and I'm like, oh, we're not on.
Oh yeah.
I kind of, I mean, you know, whatever. But I mean, I thought it would have been really cool to do an old school like Hollywood Whisky night, right, with everybody. And you know, I'm still gonna try to work that out. And so I know like Stacey or from the Mistakes, or, you know, he's in. He wants to play.
He wants to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He said just book it. He's like, we'll play it. So I mean, I wanted to kind of get that kind of vibe. You know, I think it'd be really fun. So
I'll be talking to Mickey Lord. I reached out to him because I saw the Glamour Punks was getting back together, and I, you know, asked him if he wanted to be on the show. So we're going to look at something in April to maybe, because I think that show's in June or whatever. And
it is. Push it.
I didn't know Mickey was actually
like, I'd love to set up a show with all the old school bands. I think it would completely sell. I mean,
as Glamour Punks, I always under the impression that this is like the first time they're reuniting since, you know, Dizzy and everything. But I guess apparently they've reunited before, right? And I think,
you know, so I didn't know that till recently when I started looking it up again. I didn't know that either, but I guess they did like at least one other time, right?
Yeah, they because when I joined Stars, I was in Stars from Mars, which was from that scene. I did that for a couple of years, and two of the shows we actually played were the Blackboard Jungle reunion shows.
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar. I mean, I knew those bands, but I know that band's a really tight, close scene because it was always like Swinging Thing, Glamour Punks.
Yeah, yeah.
The Glamour Punks did do a show where they had Allie playing bass.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I heard about it.
I don't remember how many years ago that was, but I believe that was also part of the Blackboard Jungle anniversary shows, or whatever they call them.
Yeah, I have fond memories of the Glamour Punk days, man. Like, I remember when we first kind of started hitting the strip, and Glamour Punks, they ruled the fucking Hollywood strip, man. Everybody was anytime there was a party, like Glamour Punk said, we're going to this place for a party, the whole Sunset Strip would go like, oh fuck, we're going to their house, we're going to their place. And
you know, those Blackboard Jungle things, like that's kind of how I kind of even had the idea to maybe want to play sometime, because and it was probably because of Instagram. Because I just sort of dropped out from the whole thing for a long time. Was looking and I saw Swinging Thing and Blackboard Jungle, and I'm like, Swinging Thing? I'm like, what? And so like, and I only found out about it I think like a week before, and I'm like, oh my god! So I went up and went to the show and had like the greatest time.
Wow!
And it was just, I don't know, kind of stirred something, right? I was just, I loved it.
What about bands like, remember Big Bang Babies, Alley Cat Scratch? I remember those guys.
Well, I feel like that the Blackboard Jungle, for a while, I felt like was becoming that, because that's why Stars from Mars reunited. And I always get these two confused. But Ash, the guitar player who played the first Stars from Mars show I did, was it Wicked Gypsy? I don't remember Wicked Jester, Wicked Gypsy.
I know, right? I know it's one of those, yeah.
But you know, and I don't know if it ever happened. It might have been during the COVID, but I thought they were going to do one, and then because Robbie and all those guys and Boa had been hanging around the scene, I know there was a lot of people hoping that Alley Cat Scratch would do it. I don't know what's going on with that band.
Yeah.
But I almost felt like it was becoming, when the Glamour Punks reunited and then Stars from Mars, it felt like the Blackboard Jungle was a great thing for that. Like every year we're getting a band that's been gone forever, reuniting.
Right.
They even moved it to the Roxy for 1 year, and I believe it was 2 days. I could be wrong. At one point, I think it was because one of the Stars from Mars I did, there was actually 2 days of the show.
Okay.
With, like, different bands on each day.
Yeah.
But
I wish
so
I would love to play the Roxy. That was my favorite.
Yeah, I never played the Roxy.
Yeah,
that's great.
We played the
But I mean, I agree. Like, it'd be nice to get some of these bands back together. If whether it's Alley Cat, for example.
Yeah.
If they had grudges, they had fights. Who cares at this point? Just suck it up and get together as friends and play.
Yeah.
Shit, we play 3 times a year.
Didn't one of the guys from Alley Cat started playing with Orgy or something? I remember it was either Alley Cat or Gutter Sluts. One of those guys that played.
I don't know.
Went on to play with Orgy back when Orgy first hit the scene with that one song, or they got signed or whatever. But
I know that Big Bang, there was a thing that to maybe play the Whisky.
Yeah.
Recently, but I heard it just came down to kind of like a money kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And it was like no. So but I would love to do that. Right? Get us all together. Hell, on that show. It would just be a fun night for everybody to play. It'd be like the big scene kind of reunion thing. It'd be amazing. It'd be so.
I think
fun.
it could happen. I think it just takes somebody to just get out there and really network that shit and get to talking all. I mean, what I would love to see, I would love to see a documentary on that. Like a new, I guess like the Western civilization, but like part fucking whatever. But like if
I've been trying to put it together. It's not that easy. Again, for some reason, there's back and I don't know.
What kind of pushback are you getting? Like, are you just getting kind of blown off or whatever?
Yeah, a little bit like, oh well, it's almost like they don't want to do the Whisky thing. We'd rather do like the Viper Room or one of these kind of places. But I mean, I just feel like playing, whether it's the Roxy or the
it's got to be on the Strip.
It's got to be on the Strip. Let's do the big show and just show everybody old school. Like let's everybody that did it, everybody come out.
Yeah,
be super fun.
And the Whisky's all ages, so I don't know why they would want to do the Viper Room.
I know all ages shows are great.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Yeah, because we never played it when it was the Viper. We played it when
it was called. Do you guys remember the band
or something?
Hooligan Stew?
Yeah, remember them? They were on that metal.
Yeah, so they started like an Instagram thing, and I reached out to them, or they reached out to me. I don't remember exactly, but those guys came to our last show. They were talking about maybe getting back together and doing some stuff. I told them I think it'd be great. This would be super fun,
And there's obviously a scene for it. I mean, obviously you guys draw. I mean, I've seen some of your crowds just on the YouTube videos. I mean, it looks like it's a packed show. In the pictures I've seen from the clips that you guys.
Yeah, the last Pussycat show we did on the 30th of December, that was just great. Yeah. I mean, probably my favorite show, other than the first one back. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that was, but I mean, it was just a great show.
I was at that show, and I've never seen the Whisky so packed.
I know it was packed, right?
The Whisky, I mean, right now, I know you're not out here anymore, Eric, but honestly, the Whisky's really rocking right now. I mean,
I agree.
It is a time like a lot of the 80s bands can come back and drop a night in there at the Whisky. Like Jake's really, putting some good shows together over there.
I've been living vicariously through people's cell phone when they record shows at the Whisky.
Yeah, right.
Like Stephen Piercy played. I was watching that whole concert. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Tuff's going to be playing.
Tuff's going to be playing.
I mean, I actually just called to try to get the support show for that, but it was already taken. But we might do the 9:15. I don't know.
Oh, that brings me to a question. I saw this because I saw Billy posted something about, and then I saw this on Tuff's page.
I saw the same thing.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, is that something that's really going on? Like, what's going on with that? Is there somebody just kind of selling fraudulent tickets for meet and greet? I know meet and greets are the big thing.
Was, a post I did this morning.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a lot of responses, but there's like 3 or 4 people because it's saying, 1 more week or whatever. And they're like, oh, can't wait. And there was a person, her name's Ashley something. I don't know if it's legit or not, because I tried to click on it. It doesn't take me anywhere. But after each comment, they're doing the typical, like, do you have the meet and greet passes or something like that?
Yeah.
So at first I thought they were asking our friend if they had some that they could get. So I just responded normally. I just said, oh, there are no meet and greets. We don't do meet and greets. You want to meet the band? Come and meet us. I mean, maybe if we could demand $10,000, I don't know. Maybe we
Yeah.
I know.
I'm not going to charge somebody $100 to come and meet me, you know.
Yeah.
Dude, the last Pussycat show here in December when we played, they did a meet and greet, like at sound check, and we got in there when we rolled in. The place was like packed with people.
Yeah.
Just packed. I'm like, wow. Like, I mean, there was a lot of people in there for the.
That's the thing with like a lot of the A-lister bands. I guess you could say Faster Pussycat would be like A-list as far as like they do the meet and greets where you pay like for get a picture and stuff. It's almost like a transactional thing. It's not so much like, oh, I'm gonna get to hang out with the band. You know, it's more like get to talk to. But you know, bands like Faster Pussycat are probably a little bit more lenient. But like, you know, like when Wasp did it, I thought it was kind of cool. Blackie would do those questionnaires at the end,
and it, you know, it goes back to there's not the money like it used to be for bands either. So I mean, as much as I hate doing that, you know, because like I said, I'm not going to be making tons of money. So why just squeeze a few bucks out of somebody? I don't feel like
you guys get paid for these shows at the Whisky, or like is it to the point where you actually make money off them, or is it more like you're just going to make money off the merchandise and you still have to sell tickets without giving like a number amount? You don't.
I was going to say we don't get paid in the sense like a lot of bands go up there and say, "Okay, we'll play for $5,000. We can't do that." No.
I remember London Up to Midnight used to.
Yeah, I mean, we'll make money off the merchandise and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that we sell like shirts and hats. And stuff. I mean,
if we play any of my bands, if you play some clubs, you know, if so many people come in, you may be able to get paid for it. But as far as a demand of money, we can't do that. No.
Yeah.
I tried $20,000. They turned us down.
I tried that too. I tried 12.
No, you know, I don't think 20,000, maybe 15, but not 20.
I negotiated our price down to $10. It worked out.
He's all, I'll give you $10 for pay. If you can sell 3,000.
It's half the parking behind the Whisky. It's perfect. Yeah.
So what is the typical draw for these kind of shows? Is it in the 500 range or a little bit more than 500? Because the Whisky holds 1,000 people? Maybe?
No, I think it's 500.
I think it holds 500, and that
it holds 500. Okay.
Yeah, and that other Pussycat show he was talking about, was packed. I think they oversold it.
Okay.
I mean, there was like not even an aisle to walk in. It was insane.
Honestly. We watched Foxy Roxx, but when Faster Pussycat was playing, because we went after Foxy Roxx played, we went outside.
Yeah.
And then when Faster Pussycat got started, we walked in. Even the stairs, you couldn't even get up. No,
it was miserable, and it was really hot in there. I mean, like,
and I love Faster Pussycat.
If Fire Marshal would have come by, he would have been like done, like kind of thing. It was just overpacked.
Yeah,
it's great to play at, but it was just a nightmare.
And I know the Whisky is always, you know, going around making sure you're out of the walkways and all that. So there's probably something that just confusion on that one and oversold, because I don't see them. I've never seen it like that before. So I'm sure
no, I haven't either.
That was like
we're looking out going, oh my God. I mean, there just wasn't any space anywhere.
Yeah, you couldn't even do the like between people or anything. It was just like you're like this and you're like, which way's the band?
It was nuts. I know.
So Tony, who's
from what I could see, but
So Tony, who's all in Foxy Roxx? You got you on vocals.
We got me on vocals. Purdy Cool is our drummer. We've known Purdy for years. I mean, again, when we came back, did the original. Robbie was in the band again. Okay. Original guy. Just didn't want to do any more shows. It was a one-off, and we're like, okay. And so reached out to our friend. Again, he's a guy that had been in the whole scene with us as a friend.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And you know, Bobby, same thing. He's the bass player, and he's original guy really for this lineup. And then Davey is again a friend that was always kind of at our shows, helped us out, did things, built our website. He did a bunch of stuff like that. So so it wasn't like no one was a stranger to try to fit in. Everyone just made sense to do it. You know?
And Davey living up here where I live in Portland.
Yeah, he's an Oregon boy.
Portland. I think we're like live down the street from each other, but we never seen each other.
Come on, you guys got to hang out one time.
I know. So he's got a pretty hectic career, I guess. They're going stuff going on, but
he just flies in for rehearsals. And then like we're gonna rehearse the night before the show. He'll fly in. We're gonna rehearse the night before the show.
I'm surprised I haven't seen him at the grocery store or something, because I know he's got the dreads and stuff, right? He's got like,
you're not gonna miss him.
It'd be easy to spot, but he must stay at home a lot, and then that's cool though.
Yeah.
So it's for me, it's great. It's like, again, playing with your friends.
And I saw sometimes you have a son on stage, little Ollie Diamond. He's a kind of a part-time member there.
Kid. Yeah. Ollie's great, man. He's just so into it. He's like a big helper, and he just loves it.
That kid's going places. I could guarantee. I could see it already. That kid's
dude.
That's the real draw right there. Is Ollie on stage.
Like it was. We went to the on the 28th of December. Went to the Pretty Boy Floyd show. They were playing.
Yeah,
just a little last promotion for our show on the 30th, and we brought him, And like, dude, it's like everybody in the place wanted to take a picture with him, and all these girls were hugging him, and it was like so funny to see. And it was like the greatest sight of his life. Oh,
heck yeah, man.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Yeah. What about you, Billy? Who's all in the Peppermint Creeps now? It's you, and you say Macy Malone.
Yeah, Macy Malone, of course, who's one of the co-founders of the band.
Yeah. Is he the main singer, like the lead singer? Or?
Yeah. I mean, we're three-piece. He does, well, he's the main singer, but especially for this show, last show I did some singing too, because the band's always been, if you really listen to the songs, there's always like multiple vocal tracks going on. So before it was other people, but now, you know, as time's gone by, I've taken on more of that. So either some of the Robbie stuff that was going on in Broken Dolls or Heartbleed or whatever. But Macy's the main vocal, all guitars. I do bass and now quite a bit of vocals. And for the 2022 show and this show, we have our friend Nikki, who's going to be playing drums. Our hardcore fans might know Nikki. So during the Tracy Memorial Show period at the Key Club and all that, Nikki, it was actually the singer for a band called Mercy, which was, you know, younger guys that were up and coming and were like, the next generation. So Nikki was actually familiar with us. We became friends with him way back in those days. He's actually, and I don't know if he wants me to say, but he's actually the starring person in our Forgotten Summer video.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because the band's not in that video. It's just a black and white 2-person video. But so he's been a friend a long time. When we just were ready to do this, you know, that was another thing too. We didn't want to just throw a band together. Like, you know, it's only 3. So if you got me and Macy all the time, that's pretty stable. But like, you don't want to be like, let's just find a drummer. First of all, because Tracy's drumming is pretty spazzy, you know, pretty pretty crazy stuff. So that eliminates, you know, some people, and then
and the showmanship is for one.
And that's going to be Tracy. So, you know, I don't think we're even as concerned about. We don't want somebody going up there doing every move of Tracy's, because Tracy's Tracy.
You don't want nobody to fill. You don't want to have him replace Tracy. Just basically, he's going to be filling some pretty big shoes, though. But
exactly,
and I would imagine that's going to be a little nerve wracking. I would imagine. That would be nerve wracking for me if I.
And Nikki kind of fits all that stuff. You know, we get along really good with him.
That's good.
He's younger than us, so that helps.
Right.
You gotta have the young buck
really good guy. You know, he's capable of playing the songs. That's a big plus right there. He's not trying to be Tracy. You know, he's just being himself. And you know, it's fun. Like Tony was saying, when you play one show, you know, that might be your only show.
Yeah,
you just have a lot of fun. You know, it's like, you know, don't get carried away. We're not going to get carried away and like, okay, let's book a tour now. But it's like, you know, we waited another year, just over a year, and we're like, you know, that was good. You know, it's a good chemistry in this band. No drama being brought in, nothing.
That's good.
So it's really good. You know, we like hanging around with each other at rehearsals. It's fun. And
then you guys all live together. Like, I know, like how Tony has, you know, member, like, you know, Davey up here, but like, do you guys as Peppermint Creeps all live in the same town or same city or whatever? Or like, do you rehearse together? Like, you know, when it comes to
we're not as spread out as they are, but we're in Southern California. We have Orange County, we have Pasadena, San Bernardino County. So we're like a triangle that has to gather. But it's not like we don't have to fly to rehearsal.
I know. So Davey flies from Oregon. Our other drummer, Purdy, is in San Diego. Bobby's in Huntington Beach, and I'm in like South Orange County. And so it's like we're just all converged somewhere. You know.
They said you guys rehearsed at a bomb shelter over there.
Yeah, we rehearsed at Bomb Shelter a lot. I like that place. This time we've been rehearsing down at Purdy's in San Diego because we're just doing it all headphone, like on the board. Hear yourself really well, clear. It's really nice to rehearse like that.
Yeah.
But
so do you only rehearse?
Projects is at Bomb Shelter, and we got talking about that, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Foxy Roxx was just here yesterday or whatever," and I'm like, "Oh, nice."
I like that place. We always get the big room in the back, and I just love that. So
it's a good studio.
So when it comes to rehearsing, you guys just kind of take a break, and then when it comes time to play a show, you just rehearse for like maybe 2 weeks in advance, or you guys always constantly rehearsing on a regular basis?
We rehearse as needed. Like
as needed. Okay, yeah.
Like, I mean, if we have a show 3 months out, right in the middle there, we'll rehearse like for the weekend.
Yeah.
And then we'll rehearse like one more time before the show. But then everybody on their own individually is always rehearsing.
Okay.
Like, right. So we it's worked so far.
Yeah, right. I remember back in the day, man, there was always a big groupie scene. Like, what is it like now? Is there still? Do you guys, when you guys get off stage, is there chicks coming up to you like in the old days? Wanting to.
I mean,
even though you're in a relationship now, you can't do anything if you're in a relationship now.
No, I mean, for me, that there hasn't been other than people come up and want to take pictures and or sign something, or it's mostly pictures and that kind of thing.
No stalkers or anything.
No, not yet. No. So for me, that that's great for me. I just think it's cool to see some people that used to be in the old school scene as well. It's like, wow, I remember you, or it's fun.
Billy, I've been following you for the past 30 years. I know every place you go, where you eat.
Exactly.
I'm watching
it's
you when
definitely
you
not
sleep.
like the old days where everybody's doing that. Everybody's plastered. Everybody's in the couches and all over the place. And the girls are just like, hey, you can have me. I mean, there's going to be girls you assume that may want, if they could have the opportunity.
Yeah.
But, it's different times. I do the shows. I'm all with my friends. Like you said, people come up, want to take pictures or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You do it. But in my world anyways, it doesn't go any further than that. Like, you don't go to the bathroom and there's people like, oh, you can't come in. Don't go in.
Yeah, right. I know.
Goes on. It's a lot less and more rare. And I think people would probably be annoyed, like, especially at a whiskey club or something where you need the bathroom and you're like, could you guys get out? Come on, man.
No, I know. Well, I'm glad all that stuff for me doesn't go on. I couldn't be any more happily married kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, it's like
I'm not married, but I'm in a happy relationship too. And it's
I wouldn't even.
You wouldn't even.
It's just not what I would want.
Yeah.
So
but you got the groupies that don't know that. If they don't know that, it's just wondering if they still come up to you guys thinking,
for me, it's just pictures.
They're hot, they're single. Let's get them.
I don't think.
Usually
not like before.
Actually.
Like if a girl was coming up all like floozy and drunk and falling over you, I think almost everybody would kind of look at that like, what the hell is that?
I agree with that.
Where the hell did you stumble at them?
Different than it was,
Because we were 22, 23 back in those days. We were all doing that too. I was all plastered on the floor, but not now. It's not.
No, it's not.
I went crazy when my first year in the Sunset Strip. I just went crazy with girls, man. Before I settled down with Christine, it was like I had to though because I wasn't using protection. So I said, you know what, I need to settle down because I'm probably gonna die.
Just gonna die.
Hanging out with Allie, man. Remember Allie? Like me and him were like,
right.
We were like joined at the hip. I mean, I hang out with that guy, and we'd be in. I remember I woke up in 3 different counties within like a week and a half with different chicks with him, and because he'd get a girl, he'd be like, "You're gonna buy us some alcohol. You're gonna take us to your house, and we're gonna fucking do this." And okay, Allie, sure thing, Allie. Like, chicks fucking.
That's because he's like 20 feet tall. He's like big guy.
And Eric, you're coming with me. I don't care fuck you, if you got band rehearsal or not. Like Tony would be pissed off because he'd be like, "Damn, you missed rehearsals." Like, I was out with Allie, but
Allie's the only guy I know in the scene where I can meet somebody totally outside the scene out here in San Bernardino, Inland Empire, all that. And they know Allie because they were either with him or somebody was with them of their friend.
And you always had this.
Like, oh, I knew that guy, Allie. Yeah, I dated him for a little while.
Yeah, and he always had his main girlfriend that nobody knew about. Like only I did, like because we'd take him. We'd drop him off or whatever. And, like she'd take him and drop him off at different places, and it was like, yeah, she's my main girlfriend, but she don't know about all the other stuff. It's like, yeah, I think she knows.
Dude, I was never that guy.
He's a funny dude, man.
Yeah, I never did that.
I remember one time this chick, like I guess like we were hanging out. This chick was like, oh, she lost my leather jacket. So, and I was cool with it. I was okay. That's cool. I understand, But Allie made her cry. He's like, "You're gonna buy him another fucking jacket, blah blah blah." So she ended up buying me a new leather jacket. It was like I felt bad taking it, but Allie was like, "No, you're gonna take it." It was like, damn, dude.
It's hardcore, right?
Yeah, and then once I settled down, he was like, he didn't want nothing to do with me. It's like, "Oh, dude, I can't hang out with you no more. Now you're all serious with her and everything." But he was with her too. He was with the girl that ended up being my wife later on. Like he was with her before I was ever with her. And we got introduced by Jet and Teddy. Jet introduced me to her it was after a show. He was like, "Hey, I got this girl. Her name's Cha-Cha. She wants to suck your dick."
Cha-Cha, I forgot about that.
We called her Cha-Cha. And I was like, the next thing you know, she's taking me home to meet her parents. I'm thinking, okay, this must be the one,
I ran into Teddy at the NAMM show. It was cool.
Oh, yeah?
Hung out a little bit. Yeah, it was fun.
I got to get those guys on the show eventually at some point.
You got to. I love those guys.
Yeah, I haven't talked to them in years, and
Well, we went to that show with Molly Vamp played and Rebel played. It was at the where was it? Club Sinister or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we were supposed to do the next one. Then there was no next one, so I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
But
The Timmy was trying to bring back the glitter and glam.
Yeah, and I enjoyed seeing Timmy first. Same thing. Been like 22 years since I saw him, and was great to see Rebel Rebel too. I'm like, oh man, this is great. Like, it was
so I
really
remember
fun.
we did a soundtrack with Timmy. Like he put out that Glitter and Glam soundtrack, and we had our song "Mail" on there from an old demo.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
My girlfriend was listening the other day. She's like, "Yeah, I'm just listening. You have such a great voice." And I go, "What song you listen to?" The song "Mail." I was like, "Oh man, I was barely learning how to sing at that time." It's like, I hate the way I sound on that song.
That great.
Yeah, it's crazy. I thought that became like a movie, didn't it? Or was it just a CD, right? Because
This is the CD.
I know there was a documentary that we were part of, and but like Gutter Slush was part of it. It was like a 10 or 15-minute documentary, and they showed it in the theater. But I can't remember what that one was called or who did that one.
Wasn't that the like one of the Decline or Devastation on the Sunset Strip?
Yeah, that was what it was. Yeah,
I got interviewed for that too, and I cut out of it. I guess I was like all bummed out.
Yeah, because it was KM
for like an hour and a half at least, like in the rainbow and outside the rainbow.
Yeah,
I thought it was played really well. I don't know what happened, but I mean,
we got cut out a lot too because I remember we were interviewed quite a bit. But when I watched it, I saw it on YouTube. It was on YouTube, and I saw that they only had just a video that they made of us, and there was a few bands talking about us, but it was like there was no like interviews with us, like because I remember doing it, but then they must have cut that part out too.
Yeah, me too. I was all bummed out. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
cool,
Then the video they did, it was like a song that my guitar player sang, but they made it look like I was the one singing. So my guitar player was always pissed.
He was all pissed.
Yeah,
took his moment.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't sound like that guy, man. And he's like pissed at me, I'm pissed at him. Like,
that's great.
Yeah, good old days, man. That's the thing about Rebel Rebel. Those guys are still doing it too, huh? Like fucking.
They kicked ass that show, and I mean Molly Vamp too. I love you guys too.
Yeah.
It's great to.
And Rebel Rebel plays on a regular basis, right? Like they don't just do like the tribute one thing every couple of years or whatever, or every year, a couple times a year. They do like.
Yeah, we were doing a lot of shows with them because Rod from Molly Vamp, he mostly out here in the Pomona area, but he'll get to book a lot of the shows, so he'll get to bring the bands on. And and we were doing shows with Rebel Rebel quite a bit for a while.
Yeah. I remember we did too. We were kind of joined at the hip Will-O-Wisp and Rebel Rebel shows. I mean, we met them at the KNAC party. Yeah,
down in San Diego and a few times, and then we all played, or they played at the record store. We played at like Blue Meanie Records, which is a great record store in San Diego. Yeah, and this little, great place. And then Rebel Rebel like was a couple weeks later, and they came in and just like they ran up like Teddy, like he ran out in the street like with some burning like something, and the cars are stopping, and like the owner of the record store freaking out, and like it was really fun though.
Those two guys, man, you get them together, man. They just start riffing on everybody and shit.
Yeah, I have that Blue Meanie Rebel Rebel show on video.
Yeah, I remember that?
Because I used to go with them to all their shows and videotape all their shows for them.
Yeah, it was fun. That was great. I loved playing that place.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes back to what Tony was saying earlier about San Diego, because in the early to mid 90s, when he was saying there was nothing out there for them, Rebel Rebel used to play out there a lot because there was like this young punk scene, like the really kind of angry punk, and Rebel Rebel did pretty good out there. I mean, we were always going out to El Cajon and all that area out there.
Yeah, we've done some shows with Rebel Rebel in San Diego. I remember those were pretty off the charts and shit. Even little clubs or whatever, but it was
again they hit that like that punk aggression kind of a scene, right? And it worked for them.
Yeah.
Whereas we were like a little more, too too much saran wrap on our legs, So.
That's what I want to see at the Whisky, the saran wrap.
Dude, I thought about it just for a goof. I really thought about doing it. I'm like, you know what? I should just go old school and do it. But it's a tough sell.
Yeah, never go on after Rebel Rebel because your chance of the show's going to get shut down or they're going to get banned.
I know, right? I know, fully.
We ran into that a few times.
Or Will-O-Wisp, where there's octopus hanging from the lighting thing,
And I remember getting that octopus sling back at me a few times. Tony blowing. Yeah, we almost got banned from the Whisky when Tony blew fire for the first time behind his kit because we didn't ask permission. Like they would have said no if we would ask. So we
just say no. I know.
Yeah. And the guy ran up on stage like, "You motherfucker! You almost burned on my fucking stage."
Well, we just played with I don't know if you remember Atom Bomb.
Oh yeah, damn it! Yeah, I heard he was getting back.
We just played with him out in Palm Springs last year, and and he's for the times we live in. Hey, he's out of control with that fire.
Oh yeah, so he's still doing the shit.
And we're playing this like weed dispensary store or whatever like that. So like it's got a really nice stage and everything in there. And he's just lighting stuff on fire, and they're like freaking out, like because it's kind of like that out of control. Well, like when Foxy Roxx used to do the little. Sometimes you're like, okay, that one didn't work, right?
Well, dude, it was non-dairy creamer. I don't know if you know that, but it's non-dairy creamer got through a tube with a compressor with a little pilot light, and it ignites like fireballs.
Yeah.
And sometimes the stuff wouldn't go through the tube, so one side would go off, or once it was, but it's funny.
That's what was so good about your shows, because you're like, maybe that won't explode too much this time.
Totally. We're just doing anything we could to like stand out, right? I mean,
wait, that one didn't go off. Is it still ready? Is it
still ready to go? I know.
Yeah, we was all about just trial and error. Like, we're gonna try it out. If it works, if it blows everyone up, no, well.
Well, I look back at all that, and we're lucky we didn't kill somebody, like with like setting something on fire. I mean, there was things that we did too much, and the big fireball rolling off the ceiling, and now I would never do that. I just too much responsibility.
Yeah. You guys do put on a pretty good show, like Foxy Roxx. What is the fans expecting on this show? Is there anything new that they should expect? Are they expecting some surprises, or what's going on there?
We have a couple things we're gonna do. Last show that we did these like glow stick things, like those wands.
Yeah,
like
that was great.
Roll it up, and like everybody was shaking those around. That was awesome. So we're gonna do that again, just because I think it's fun for people and it looks great, right?
Yeah.
And we have what do we have? We have a couple other things we might do towards the end for like some giant beach balls, like people blowing around like the last song, and just like stuff like that, just to have fun, just to make a party kind of an atmosphere.
Yeah, I want to give the audience
curtain, like we're gonna do the clear curtain, like I think Billy's the one that told me that Rebel used to do it, although I never saw him do it. We used to do like a clear kind of curtain, and then like you spray paint on the back of it.
Oh yeah, I think I've
seen
so
you get it right backwards, and it's like it looks really cool. But I don't know if we're gonna do it this time. So
let's give the audience a little taste of some Foxy Roxx. I pulled up this show from last year, I believe, and I think it actually even guest stars little Ollie.
Anybody else in here in military or first responders or police or whatever, we support all that stuff. Okay, I'll tell you what, it's important stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, 32 years ago today, Davey he joined the military, all right, to help protect us, to help make us be able to do stuff like this in America, okay? So I'll tell you what, it's 32 years of service he's done. He still works for him today, does computer stuff. And so so listen, so I'm really proud of him. I just want to say thank you for your service, man. It means a lot. That's why we can stand up here and look weird and play the Whisky go-go. Seriously. Well, I'll tell you what. So, all right, listen. His son's over. Come here, Ollie. So here's what we're going to do. He's going to stand up here and do some weird stuff, have some fun, have a good time. We're going to play a song right now. He's going to sing along. He's going to have fun. Okay? This song is called Rock and Roll. Rock and roll now, baby. Rock and roll now, come on. Rock and roll, just take me home. Rule my mind. Rock and roll now, baby. Rock and roll now, come on. Rock and roll, just take me home. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, little Ollie, man.
Child endangerment.
Yeah, right. Like from DHS.
Whoops,
got a case.
Yeah, I love that, dude. It's fun.
That's a good song. That's a catchy song. I know it's a lot about like glam music, especially in the Hollywood glam days, and even now, the music's always been there's a formula to it. I would imagine. Like when you guys are writing songs, it seems like everything's kind of in the major key. Like it's very kind of poppy, but at the same time punkish, kind of like. And what tripped me out was like. There's like really good songs, and you would think it would be like, hitting it big or whatever, right? But then when Blink-182 came out, I remember hearing them for the first time. I forgot what year they came out or whatever when they had their big hits. But their music sounded similar to that. Like it was very kind of poppy. I
totally agree with that.
Really well produced, but they don't have the image. I was wondering, like, was it the glam image that's kind of held that music back from getting where it should have been? Or
I think so, unfortunately.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, for me, things I write, like I just write everything that's catchy to me. I always start with a chorus.
Yeah.
And I work backwards from there. I need to
know. You come up with a lot of riffs. Do you come up with a lot of riffs, or you write with the lyrics
no,
first?
I don't play. I mean, I can play the guitar well enough to write songs, and then I'll show them to the guys. But I couldn't tell you a note on the guitar, and it drives them.
Fine. Yeah, and you don't really have to. As long as you don't,
because I don't know the notes. Yeah, I can play and I figure out songs, but I don't know, the the technical parts of it.
Yeah.
But I got to know where we're going. Like we're playing 2 new songs this time. Well, we already played the ones called "Get Ready to Party." Okay. So we're gonna play that this time. We're playing a new one this time called "Hell Yeah." So
cool.
Excited to do that. It'll be fun.
Yeah. What about you, Billy? What's fans gonna expect this time around? Or is there any surprises? Any new changes? Tight-lipped, right?
No, I mean we have our things that we do. We're us and Foxy Roxx are pretty similar. We like, and also the Zeros. We try to.
You guys put a lot of
audience
stage show.
participation. I mean, you're in the Whisky, so you can adapt to that a little bit. So we try to do that. We do have a few things that we think our fans are really going to like. I'm not going to mention them right now, but because sometimes some of those things don't come through. The 2022 show, there was something we were going to do in the technical form, and it wasn't able to work at the last minute.
And it didn't come through.
The crowd doesn't know anything about it. They didn't know it was going to. So that's why we don't really say what we're going to do, because sometimes you just can't come through with it, and then the people had that expectations. I mean, they kind of know what they're going to get. Like Tony was saying, either glow sticks. Like we've been throwing the little glow stick bracelets out for years. Just things to the crowd, because I mean, you try to be visually exciting or whatever. We do the black lights and everything. So
yeah, I love that.
But during the songs, you also want to get people like to not stop paying attention. Because even if they like, I go see bands I like too. But, if you've been working all day or whatever, you're tired. But I just saw Lizzie Borden the other day, and the crowd was just, the whole show was amazing because Lizzie's got all kinds of things he's doing through the whole show.
He's one of my favorites, man. I wish I could see him.
Oh, dude, that show was that show was, if he goes up in that area, dude, you got to see him.
Yeah.
I mean, he had his bucket of blood and he's wiping blood on everybody in the front. And these people
I saw everybody's Instagram post. They all got blood all over their faces.
Lizzie Bourne's always been good, but he's, in these later years, they've really been into the theatrical.
Yeah, I noticed you got that cool mask, which my friend Rallis actually designed that 3-face.
I thought he did the 3-face one.
Yeah.
When he came out, I said, I wonder if Rallis still does his stuff.
Yeah, Rallis.
I don't know Rallis, but I know him through you. So
yeah, he does some pretty big stuff now.
Oh, that mask is amazing.
Yeah, he's always traveling.
He's always Lizzie's eyes are the 2 middle ones, but the way it's done, when you're like, wait, what's going on? Oh, dude, that. Yeah, his mask.
I love that. I think that's what's missing from a lot of bands now. I see other bands play and they're talented. They have good songs, but if there's nothing to specifically keep my interest, I could be listening to it in the car, right? It's the same thing.
Exactly.
I want to watch something.
Yeah. That's always one about Lizzie Borden. He's like one of the guys I always talk about, like, as being like so underrated, and he's been around since 83, 84 when I got into him. But I've always wondered, because this music, his last album he put out a couple years ago, Midnight Things, I believe it's called. There's songs on there that should be on the radio. Like, it should be like those should be like top songs. But I think when it pulls it back, maybe it's just super cool. I think we even follow each other on Instagram. I want to get up the nerves to hit him up and to do my show, whatever. But I always want to wait till I get enough, followers on here. I hit 1,000 subscribers, so I'm gonna start hitting up like Phil Lewis. I'm friends with him, and Lizzie Borden. Be cool to have him on. But he barely doesn't. He doesn't do any interviews hardly. So that's be kind of weird to like, or if he would do it, because he doesn't hardly ever do any interviews. But he's just so underrated. I mean, his music is so good, but he only puts out an album every 10 years. It seems like,
I just want to know. So he's wearing boots even higher than mine.
Yeah.
And our last show, I had to get, because we didn't play in 9 years. When I went, us rockers, we don't do laundry and stuff. So the last show 9 years ago, I put my clothes in my bag, not knowing it was going to be 9 more years. So when we did a show, I go, okay, I'm going to take inventory of my clothes. And since it's a lot of vinyl, it's all stretched and ripped apart. And the vinyl part's coming off of the stretch part. And so I had my everything new, and my boots were quite a bit higher.
Oh, dang.
And so we do the Kiss thing. We rehearse with our boots on now. So I do feel a lot more comfortable, but that show, I'm like, if I even step on my cord, I'm doomed. And that many phones out there, I do not want to be videotaped falling over on stage.
Yeah, I've got some higher boots that I wore at the last show. Now they're not like your guys' height, but they're like probably 3 inches.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And same thing. I was practicing in them, just making sure they felt comfortable. And I had the same experience with him when we got back into this for the Zero show. I had some leopard skin creepers, and I pulled them down out of the closet. I'm like, no, where are these? And I went to put them on, and the rubber on the bottom, it disintegrated right in my hand. It turned into like this weird powder stuff. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It was just too old,
Let's show a clip of Peppermint Creeps. I want to let the audience get a little taste of what they're going to expect, you know. And like I said, Billy said he's going to keep tight-lipped on what they might have coming up. So
love it.
That's a cool look. I mean, you
I'm
don't
like
see
bobbing my head. I'm like, I love that, dude.
How long does it take to get that
Roxx sign in the background?
yeah. How long does it take to set something up like that up with those? Because you're doing it's all glow in the dark stuff, right? Or is it neon lights, or how is it being?
Yeah,
lit
we
up?
just use black lights.
Black lights.
I don't want to let too much of the secrets out, but it's
Oh yeah.
it's not that hard. It's just like I used to roadie in high school when bands would take their own drum risers to every show. You'd have the big side panels. You'd have the thing. And I don't know how bands got away with putting all that up, because now, you know, the Whisky has got, like I said, everything about the Whisky's got so much better. They supply backline and they have good gear there. At least for bass, they have really good bass gear there. So it's a little easier, and it's the one band where we actually have somewhat of a crew. I mean, I know we don't play, so it's not like a road.
I think you'd have to have a crew for something like first stage.
We have enough friends that can help, which is hard these days, because I've even put ads out for roadies and
No, it's hard. It's hard to get people to help out.
Yeah,
I mean,
so we still have a lot of, you know, hangover people, or we just make the girlfriends help, or, you know, whatever. I mean,
just like
we make a child named Ollie help us.
Right.
Always going to be that guy with the tool belt on and everything.
Fully,
Something breaks, he pulls his screwdriver. His wrench out or whatever.
He's the on the spot guy. He's ready to go.
Flashlight like that, you know.
Who came up with the idea of doing like the whole like blacklight thing? Was that Tracy's idea? Was this part of his vision when the band first started? Were you guys doing that?
I don't know. So I joined in 2006. So there was kind of a 2 Peppermint Creep period. So my history is not super good because it's mostly as a fan in those days.
Yeah,
but most people, if you remember the early days, it was just wearing like as much color and stripes and polka dots. So it was really just tights with skirts and loose things you find at the thrift store. Then they actually took a break. Macy was doing like 6/6 Crush and stuff like that. And then they kind of came back, and from my memory, that's when they started getting more into the vinyl and all that.
Right.
I think they were starting to use black light, but I feel like the black light, as much as we use it now, is a little bit newer, like where we really, you could see the club's almost black except for the black light stuff. I mean,
and
whoever was running the lights at the club, I remember the first song and I look up and there's these really cool, I don't know what they were, these lines that were.
I was wondering, like, what do you tell the light guy at the club that's actually, they have their own lights over? You say, we have a black light set and I need you to just shine these kind of lights on.
Well, like, we have our boss. I won't mention. Name, that takes care of all that stuff. So like even going back to your booking thing, I in this band I don't have to do any of that stuff. Like everything's taken care of. But there's some stuff you have to kind of let them know, like with some of the surprise things that we like to do that we're going to try to do. You do have to involve them, because if you need certain lights on or off or whatever, you have to let them know, and you hope they don't give you pushback or whatever. I did notice when I watched the video from the show last year, because somebody was upstairs filming it. I know who they were. I'm just and that's fine. They were filming the whole show, but just from one camera sitting there, so you didn't get cool edits or anything. But I feel like as the show got going, and maybe the light person just did it when they got, we did the fog and all that, but we usually do it in green. So I think they started seeing the theme there, because I felt like the lights got more purpley and green as the show went on. Like, like they just, and it could be just somebody, if they have a light person, and if they're really into their show, you can see them kind of trying to use it as a creation thing. Like
trying to tweak.
I
get
what this band's like Foxy Roxx. They're just about party, have a, it's like however long they play, 45 minutes an hour of just fun. You get tired from watching Davey run all over the place and Tony runs all over the place. You're like, but it's just, it's just so fun. I could see the light person like, oh, we need to do this light, or this light would be perfect for them or whatever, That was my take on it. I don't know if that's true or not. I just felt like if they were observing things, they might get a feel of it.
It looked great. I mean, for sure.
Yeah, I was just like, so then I'm really liking the Whisky right now. I mean, I just everything they're doing seems really good right now.
So then you don't really, so you don't have like a stage manager, right? That can you guys are kind of like your own stage manager in the sense.
Just the one person that the things that need to be
done and get some done.
Talked about. You do that because somebody has to do it. If we're gonna, I know you're gonna get into tracks. We'll get into that part later, but
the backing tracks thing. Yeah. What about the backing? How do you guys feel about backing tracks as far as bands that are lip syncing on stage and
for me personally, if someone uses it as an accent or something, okay, I get that it makes you sound really full. You're trying to put something out there.
Yeah.
But if you're not capable of doing it on your own and you're relying on it and it's too forward, too heavy, I'm like out. I don't like that. I would rather go up there, just four of us guys, and like, let's just really do our best. And
I want the music to sound live. I don't want it to sound like the record. I want
And sometimes you see these bands and you're like, wow, it's just like clearly it sounds like there's 20 children under the stage singing into a microphone. And you're like, really? I'm like, it's too much, I'd rather maybe not sound as good or whatever. Okay, maybe that's the way the show went that night. Then rely on some backing track.
Yeah, and it's fine to have like a keyboard line because you don't want to. If you don't have a normal keyboard player, you can have a keyboard line.
I get all that.
Track
that's
or an intro.
Sure.
But like a band like that, Falling in Reverse, the controversy last year was because they had to cancel an actual show because they couldn't. Their laptops got stolen, and so their entire show was on the laptops. Well, couldn't they just go out there and just jam some actual
play
music?
The damn stuff.
Yeah, they do some covers or have a backup set just in case that because you cancel a whole show like that, like especially a big festival. Where the bookers paid you, the fans paid tickets to see you, and there's like thousands of people there. And sorry, we can't play because even though they know how to play their instruments, but then get out there and play your instruments.
They get out and play. Yeah.
And I completely agree. I have no problem with them. It's how much you have to use them. I mean, we have songs. There's people might not notice. There's quite a bit of our songs that have keyboards in them.
Yeah.
But we do choose not to have those on tracks. As much as they're cool to hear when you have headphones on and you can hear everything.
Yeah.
And Heartbleed and stuff. There's some really cool keyboard lines in there, but we now not to throw any secrets out there. But
you're the man of
in the past shows where we've done Tracy on the video screen, those were tracks.
Yeah.
I know, right?
So we joke about that stuff because we're like, nowadays people are going to videotape it and be like, well, look. There's nobody doing this right now or whatever. And we're like, there's nobody at the drum kit. They're frauds,
Right. No, I know. It's
but I mean, that's a special thing that we were doing. That was just like.
When you guys are doing that, do you guys have Tracy on the entire show, like in the back as far as the screen, or is it just a certain songs? Or
so what we were doing at the Key Club, that's where because the Key Club was really good for that because they just let us do whatever we wanted to for the first couple shows. They had the big screen and we do a curtain before we come out. Well, you saw the video. So we do have cool, video things and all that we would like to show, but then it becomes do we not use the curtain then because otherwise people won't see it. The drumming thing was so the songs that we had been doing that at the Key Club, they were all songs that we have music videos for. So because each person was shot individually for those music videos, we have the entire drum set, the whole show of him just playing drums.
Oh, cool.
So for those shows, especially the first one was really good. It was all songs like that, songs that we had videos for. And it is, we're not laptop guys or nothing like that. So it's truly just, hey, we made this disc or, I don't know. I wasn't part of it, but I know it's a lot more simple than having all this laptop and stuff that you can control everything. Just put this in. It's going to be playing just the drum tracks with the video, like basically a DVD, I would assume.
It's fun to watch Tracy do that, right? It's
and especially at the Key Club, the screen was so big above the stage that that was kind of what we were doing. Like, hey, there's that's in fact it was kind of cool because one of the shows, it might have been the first one during his old days of doing like was it Glamageddons and stuff like that at the Key Club.
I remember those.
So there was actually footage of him backstage at the Key Club with a microphone, like a news broadcaster guy.
Oh yeah.
Like we're here and we showed that on the big screen. So that was really cool because here it's video of him at that club backstage, like he's getting ready, and like we're getting ready to go on stage and all that.
Yeah.
So there was and that's kind of what I'm talking about. If we have like all these surprise things, that's stuff we don't want to give up. Yeah. I'm not saying we're doing that this year, but I'm saying we don't like to tell people that, because if something goes wrong, also we'd like people to be kind of surprised. You don't know that's coming. People, after we were doing those first shows, people would email me saying, "You going to do the Tracy drum thing again?" I'm like, I show up.
And you get that from being a Kiss fan. That whole mystery.
Oh yeah, I mean, if it was up to Tracy, I'd be doing this right now.
Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's never going out without his makeup.
Well, and the thing that sucks about being in a band like the Creeps and Tony, they dress up, especially Tony. He's got a. I don't know if he finds this offensive, but character. Like I look at, like we're all kind of characters. Because we come from that. Well, some people are like character versus costume, but it's all fun. I mean, it's what we are. We do
Foxy Roxx again. I'm going to present myself and whatever has to happen to do that.
But the guy with the purple beard, that's kind of cool. I've gone in public either wearing my, I promote. People always say you shouldn't wear your own band T-shirts. My band is my favorite band. I mean, I wear my favorite band T-shirts. Of course, I'm going to wear my own. I wear my Peppermint Creeps hat all the time.
No doubt.
I love my band. I'm sorry you don't love your own band enough to wear your own merch. Right. But I even got Eric shirts. I'll go out in public with the Creep shirt on, and people are like, "Oh, whatever happened to those guys?" Or, "Oh, I remember those guys." And I'm like, nobody recognizes me. I mean, we're not obviously high profile like Kiss was, so I sometimes wish people did know it was me.
Yeah, and you're on so many bands though too. Like it's crazy because you think.
Well, that's the most high profile, but I do get recognized from. I have a Kiss cover band called Room Service. In that scene, because out here there's a big tribute scene. I'm sure it's pretty much around the whole country at this point, or the world. We don't dress up like Kiss, so I call it more of a Kiss cover band. But we have our mad scientist guitar players, so we do the smoking guitar. I don't breathe fire, but I have a tube on the end of my bass that shoots a fireball out. It's just flash paper, so it's not like a fireball. Like if a club even sees it, it's gone before they can even think, was that fire we just saw?
Right.
And then I have Molly Vamp, which is all originals, kind of in the Judas Priest, Iron Maiden kind of thing.
Really cool.
I have another cover band that we're actually got back together called Jet Set Brunette, where we just do kind of 80s covers.
That's cool.
There's a guy out here. He was in Black Star Sinners, Rich T. Biggs. He had stopped playing, but now, because he's not able to play guitar for whole sets and all that. So he's got something going now, and I'll be playing bass for him.
Cool.
So that's
cool. You've been in so many different bands. I mean, for me, it's like,
other than Tony, like you don't,
it's pretty much Foxy. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the whole Tracy and Heartthrob. Had the little falling out, and then I played drums with Heartthrob for a while.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
did all the stuff. It was super fun. It's weird though. The one night, because Tracy's out in the crowd. And so it was at the Roxy, and we're playing this big show, and I'm like,
oh shit,
it's Tracy. But he's like, he was in, because we were friends, and I wasn't taking his spot. It was just, I was just filling in, having fun, and then they ended up getting back together for a while, so it was cool. But it was fun and intimidating at the same time to look out and see Tracy. That's
kind of like me. Like Tony was always like our drummer. Tony was always in different bands, Astro Vamps, and all the other stuff. And I just always stayed with Will-O-Wisp. I might do a little thing here and there with somebody, but. Never I just had.
And Molly Vamp does shows with Tony still.
I mean,
it's been about a year or so, but we were doing a lot of shows with Will-O-Wisp, and then we pair up with him every once in a while.
Postmortem superstar.
We got to get Heartthrob back together. Come on.
Yeah, so you got to get all these bands back together, man. We
that's the whole Stacy Starr thing, because Heartthrob, Tracy, Stacy, and then when the Creeps were actually Gretchen Bonaducci's backing band for that cover band, and and Stacy ended up becoming our drummer after Tracy was gone.
What year in the 90s? What year in the 90s would you say was the most prominent part of like the Sunset Strip? Like when it comes to the 90s, we already know about the 80s and stuff, but what year do you think was it? 94, 95, 98? Like,
I mean, I remember specifically in like more like, I mean, like early 90s, but like 94, 95. But I think some of my favorite things we did were like more like 96 to, to into the 2000, like, because we stopped at the end of 2001.
That's right. Yeah,
and it's like, so there were some really good times there, and the scene was still going enough that if Big Bang played or we're playing or Creeps or there was people there, it was fun, and the strip was still packed, and
the strip was still happening. Now.
Yeah, because in '92, Pretty Boy Floyd had kind of come back with their in the band, and they were doing the shows at the Roxy. They would do a weekend, I think, every month or every other month, and it was packed. They'd have the whole list of bands were great bands. I discovered, Hanky Panky and all those bands from those shows, and
we played a few of those. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. And then even when that kind of fizzled out, there was still like shows. There was still the Alley Cat Scratches, Big Bang Babies, and all those bands. So probably early through mid '90s was.
And Hanky Panky changed their name to something. I know Kenny.
Yeah, Revolution Hazy.
Yeah, Revolution Hazy.
Yeah.
I used to see Kerry. I used to see Kerry all the time. I was going to the LA Kiss football games, and and he was a season ticket holder too. So we would hang out at those games.
Remember, we would all go to the warehouse, and they had the warehouse with all the bunks in it, and like
the warehouse
there's
parties.
A stage, and they had the bus. Remember the Hazy bus? And like that was fun.
Jim's house or Jim's warehouse, whatever.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, we got so wasted those places, man. It's like crazy shit.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude.
I was googling Tracy earlier before, and I noticed like when he passed, it was like got a lot of coverage. I noticed blabbermouth.net, which I didn't even know they were around in 2008. But they did a story on it. They said, drummer of Tracy Michaels of Peppermint Creeps passed away.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone.
Even at my job, people were. I work in the industry of teen retail. I'm not going to say the company, but I've been there for my whole life. Anyways, and they're a very music friendly company. And so I was actually away on leave for that. So when I came back, there was the music team. People were sending me emails with links to like Blabbermouth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. And we weren't even
back
from Texas, and it was already all over Metal Sludge and everything. So I think just a few people that we contacted immediately kind of spread the word as fast as it could, like, pew.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool, like, if you guys were able to get the Whisky to, like, paint how the Zeros did, the Coconut Teaser painted all purple and stuff, and if you can get the Whisky to paint, like, some neon colors or something in tribute to, that'd probably take a lot of pull, I would imagine.
I feel like for the Zeros reunion, might not have been intentional, because it wasn't quite their purple, but the Whisky had tried to clean up the upstairs and all that, and it was a new paint job, and it was, like you said, it wasn't really Zero's purple, but it was a little purpley inside there. But
the bathroom now's got Danny's picture there. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Right, so we're not going to push the hey Jake. I don't really know Jake that good. I play there a lot, so I've talked to him, and
So who else is on the bill? I know Tony, you were talking about your son is playing on the bill.
Yeah, so my son's first time playing there with his band. Little gothic-y, kind of like just rock music kind of thing, and it's their
Lily
first
and Thorn.
thing. Yeah, and I was saying earlier before is that his drummer yesterday had a skiing accident, broke his spine and his tailbone or something like that, and now he can't play.
Yeah.
So they were going to have to cancel. So I'm doing the dad thing, and I stepped up, and I'm going to play drums for them right before us. So I've got a few days to learn all their songs. So
I'm glad you said they didn't cancel, because I'm feeling like the curse is coming over us. Because,
it's like, uh-oh.
They had the Whisky. We didn't. So the last show, even though I think they were contacted, it was really all of our friends. We had Scarlet Rose on there.
Yeah.
We were hoping to have them on this one too.
Yeah, me too.
Because Scarlet Rose, if you haven't heard them, they were a band we used to play with before. They're really good.
They're awesome. I love those guys.
They put out 2 recordings. One is Action from the Suite, but then they have their own original, and they're really good.
I really like the other one. I like the other band too. There was like a punk band or an Oil something.
That was actually Tracy's daughter's band, Oil Change.
Yeah, Tracy's daughter's band. I like that. I like their music, and I think
I know they're 3-piece, and they have the 2 vocals up front, and it's really. I'd love to
get them on the show. That'd be cool.
Yeah, unfortunately they're not going to be playing. Brittany will be out here, but they're not going to be playing this year.
They're not going to be playing.
And the other band you had listed on there, Midnight Thrill, is actually a band. Our friend Bruiser is he's been a supporter of us forever.
Okay.
The Midnight Thrill actually played on some of our shows, our memorial shows, when they moved to the Whisky. He just happened to be like, we didn't do any of the bookings this time, but Bruiser happened to post something. So I messaged him. He wasn't able to make the show last year. And I just said, "Are you guys playing again?" He goes, "Yeah, we're thinking about it." I said, "Well, we're going to be playing at the Whisky. It'd be awesome if you could get on that show." So, he had to contact Jake and everything. The other bands, I've been researching them. There was a band that was on the website. There was 7 bands on there. there was one squeeze between us and Foxy Roxx. They're not listed anymore, and it was like a kind of pop singer girl. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But I noticed that name's not listed anymore, so I don't know what's going on with that.
I was bummed again that Scarlet Rose, because they were going to go right before Creeps, and we were going to go before them. And I'm totally down with it. Again, I just want to be on the show, right?
Yeah, I don't really know everything that happened with them. I just know that Bruce had told me that, because I saw that and he just said they had to back out.
Yeah, I was bummed out. I really do think they're extremely talented. I love their songs. They're
Tony's gonna be back there doing this shit.
I'm going out.
He's gonna come out and go, yeah, what's up, everyone?
And they still have like a young, good look. You know, they can still.
Yeah,
I mean, it's funny because, like, you know, I'll be all in my makeup and my stuff, and I'll be back there like doing my thing, and it's like
then you gotta come back out and sing.
Dude, I haven't played drums with Whisky 31 years. Because when I switched to becoming a singer, it was a long time ago. And so for me, it's going to be like, wow, I never thought I would sit on the stage again and play the drums, let alone play with my son.
Does your son's band have music out that's like on YouTube or anything? Or?
No, I mean, there's a couple songs probably on, like, you know,
like are they working on anything? Or
yeah, they're working on stuff. I mean, they have probably maybe a song on Spotify or something, like, I don't know, but they're not there yet.
Check them out and see.
So all these young bands are hard to research because you know, we're still like, we're up to speed on Facebook and all that now, but when I try to check out these bands, like the first band playing is a band called Anti-Groupies.
Oh yeah,
and I'm really digging them. They're kind of in the.
I saw them too.
They're kind of. I hate comparing bands because then they'll be like, oh, but you know, there's the Rumors. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're a band that's going around right now. It's a 3-piece. They have the guy drummer and the 2 girls. Okay. They kind of all have that sort of either Runaways kind of,
and
that kind of stuff. And I really dig that stuff. So I've been watching some of their videos, and I'm gonna, you know, kind of be excited. I have to get ready during the shows, but
are they an all female group or something? Is Anti-Groupies an all female group?
I believe so. I think it's a 4-piece.
Okay, cool.
And then Concussion 33, I actually looked up, and now I haven't seen them promoting this show. Not in the sense of, hey, get out there and promote. I haven't seen them listing it anywhere. Yeah. But they're much more hardcore punk. I mean,
they're punk.
Watching some of their shows, you could tell it's probably all their friends, a big crowd, and they're just going at it. And I'm like,
oh, cool.
We get the soft, toned down version of that sometimes when we do like Stupid and Lesbian and all that. We get the one, but they're hardcore. And I was just like, you know, I love watching that stuff. I don't have the balls to get in the middle of that. I don't want to get hit. But
are you guys going to have the Whisky Pro Shoot this? Like, you know, most bands have a pro shoot. And if you do,
we do it. We're doing it.
You guys plan on releasing anything?
I think we did do that last time.
We're gonna take the video and we're gonna tweak the sound a little bit, because the problem is when you get the Pro Shot one, it's through the board. And it's always just weird. Like, you just don't have the live vibe.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to put another, like a GoPro in the back, film that, and use the audio probably just from the GoPro and put it with the video.
Oh yeah,
because it'll be a house mix then, and it'll sound way better.
The video quality there is good. I mean,
it's great. Yeah,
it's just like you said, the sound.
Yeah, it's just the sound. You just lose something, and everything, even the vocals, it's like dry, and it's just weird. You know?
That's where I get that from those Kiss off the soundboards.
I need delay. I must have delay or something on my voice. You know, so, but it's just fun, dude. I can't wait. Again, it'll be fun. Again, playing the drums and then going right on the stage, that'll be fun too.
Yeah, so. Get the double whammy of a stage.
So you're doing 2 back-to-back shows, right? Or
but dude, you know, like I was younger, but when I was playing in Heartthrob, Foxy Roxx would play, and then I would go up right after and play with Heartthrob. It's just like I was just exhausted, because
I was gonna say those are pretty.
Like Tracy, right? I mean, I play similar to Tracy, and it's like, so. You know, there's a lot of work involved in it, right? And you're tired, and so it's like I would be just wiped out at the end of that. But it was great memories. So,
and what if your son says, "Dad, you play so fucking awesome, man. I need you to quit Foxy Roxx and just join my band."
I know, right? I know, fully. Yeah, I know.
You have a dilemma.
It's going to be fun. I'm actually looking forward to that. Again, it's like the universe sort of aligned to make that happen. I'm totally down to make it happen for him.
Like I was saying earlier, I was watching Sebastian Bach. He has his son playing drums now for him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like,
hey, everybody's doing it. Udo's got his son playing drums.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
Udo was supposed to play out here last year, and they had to cancel. So
yeah, I love to see Udo.
I know. I really wanted to see them at the Whisky, and then they were going to play out here at Stages in Santa Ana.
That dude's still doing it. That's the only guy that can. Sounds like he's gargling glass or whatever, but he still sings on key and has
totally
a good
voice. Right. I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
fully.
He's still doing it. He's
I wish I had a strong voice like that. It's dope.
Yeah, 70 years old, right? Or I think he's almost 80, right? Like,
gotta be.
He's up there. Cool.
Love that.
All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. We've been going
super
for
fun,
about
man.
an hour.
It's again great to be here with Billy too, and I respect you guys a lot for playing. And I'm out there in the crowd watching. I'm a fan.
We're gonna do this again too, and I love the idea that like I said, two bands like this, and just keep doing what you're doing, because and then hopefully that works out to where you can get all those bands together at some point.
I sure would love to do it.
I say just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. It's going to happen. If not them, somebody will do it. Some of the
for sure.
So many bands from those days, and
maybe Will-O-Wisp.
Yeah, Will-O-Wisp. Maybe we
could be a reunion. Come on.
We want to get started on that documentary that we've been planning. We've been but the problem is Tony's got all of the footage, but he doesn't know how to get it all digitized. I go, dude, we got to find somebody to digitize that shit, because we
I have a lot of footage. I have a lot of footage from Glitter and Glam days and all that, and I've told you I have a lot of footage when Paul was in the band. And it's like, I don't know how to do any of that transferring stuff or anything. It's all on the little mini VHS.
We got the filmmaker. He's in Finland. The guy from.
I was going to try to. I have a Foxy Roxx show, and it's probably at the Glitter and Glam, and I was hoping to make copies and bring them to you guys, but like I said, it's the compact VHS, and getting the stuff to where I can transfer it and everything is. Because I know, even though it's before Davey, I know, when I talk to him.
No, I'd love to. I mean, I got so many boxes out in the garage of these giant videotapes.
Yeah.
and there's a 20-minute teaser show, or there's a 45-minute whatever on one tape. And I got to get all those converted, because it's just taking up space,
Yeah.
Us fucking Gen Xers, man. We got to learn.
I know, damn it.
Of course, the kids will call us boomers. Okay, boomers. Like, no, I'm a Gen X, man.
Yeah, I know. That's right.
Boomers are behind me. I'm sandwiched in between boomers and millennials.
That's right. I know.
All right, guys. So get out there and check out Foxy Roxx, Peppermint Creeps, and a bunch of other cool bands. Tony's band, Lily and Thorn, his son's band, and the other ones. What was it? Concussion 33, Anti-Groupie, cool name. And
come out early, support all the bands. Let's have some fun together.
Exactly. Bring it back, man. It's Friday the 15th. Get there early and just have a blast. And
absolutely. And then let's go take over the rainbow.
Take over the rainbow, man.
I know we used to go to Denny's down by the freeway, and it's not there anymore.
Yeah,
I know, it's not there. I know.
No more rock and roll Denny's. Fuck.
I'll go there. We get the big long tables put together, and all of us with our crazy hairs and everything.
What about Rock and Roll Ralph's? Is that still there?
It says Rock and Roll Ralph's right in the front.
Oh, they actually put it out there. Cool.
They put it up there. Yeah,
they put like a clean on the windows across the whole front window.
Yeah, it's cool.
Nice. I saw Robin Crosby
how
shop
funny
there one time before he passed away.
They're showing their love for the Rock and Roll Ralph's name, but yet they probably lost a lot of money from that.
Yeah, probably. Totally. All those old ladies going, what the hell?
We supplied the rockers of the 80s.
Yeah. That's where we bought our top ramen so we could survive, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Many nights in this store. I used to see the guitar player Shotgun Messiah shop in there. Robin Crosby, before he passed away, shopped there all the time. I was like, I used to just go in there. I used to go there to shop just to see if I could see any rock stars.
Oh yeah, fully.
We see a few of them.
Yeah, I used to shop at the Ralph's on what street was that? It was the one that you would go upstairs, like you'd have to park upstairs in the escalator. Oh, yeah. I only saw Leslie from Queenie Blast Pop there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's still alive.
That's the only person I saw there.
Yeah, Leslie's still doing his thing. Isn't he in another band, Leslie? He's the guy that drank a lot, too. Remember?
Yeah, he's doing his Prophets of Addiction. We played with them at the Zeros reunion.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Last time I saw him, he was working with, what's this guy? Kevin Starr from Zeros. They were working at a porno company. Like I say, his wife ran a porno company, and Leslie was working there with him. And they were asking me and Gabriel to, my old guitar player Raven. Kevin wanted us to do some soundtrack music for porn music, and so we got the little tour of the place, and that was pretty cool. we never did put the music down just because we didn't have the equipment for it. And
you just wanted to go tour the porn studio.
Well, not only that, and plus I think we were doing the drugs and the alcohol and all this shit, so nothing ever got done. But yeah, we did get a nice little tour of the place right there in Franklin and Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh, it's funny. We did a thing in Tony's band when he was in one of the bands with EAU. I forget what the band was called. I don't think it was Astrovamps, but anyways, we were doing a thing when it was Revlon Red, but we couldn't get Marky. He was, we ended up creating a 3-piece band called the Trash Cats.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But we were doing this thing with a lady who was making a demo kind of like to pitch for a movie. and she had us, and she had, I think it was maybe the Astro Vamps. And there was like some girls taking showers and all that, but Tony and them were all in that too. I don't know whatever became of that footage, but
they actually did.
They were just like in the house, like living room, all laying on the couches and everything.
Oh yeah, I remember that when that happened. Matter of fact, Astro Vamps did a porno together, and Tony was the only one that didn't bang a chick. He was actually trying to talk to chicks out of like being into business. Like, why do you do this for a living? Like, he's like, get all philosophical with him. It's like Dan and those other guys are like, fuck yeah, we're going to town on these chicks.
Oh man,
yeah, Tony's funny.
I go, Tony, did you have sex with her? No, I was talking to her, asking her like how she could do this kind of job. What's her mentality like? And it's like, wow, you must have came off like the weirdo of the fucking set.
Oh, fully right. Yeah. Yeah. Probably had his makeup on. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. All right, guys. It's been real. Man. Get out there and check out Foxy Roxx, Peppermint Creeps. Can't get enough of these guys, man. Hell yeah. We love you.
Got it. See you next week, Billy.
Yeah, see you there.
Horns up and peace out. Yeah.